Okay, alright. Here's what I want to talk about real quick. So, I was watching YouTube videos last night, and I came across, those classic reviews of the prequels, which are... They happen a lot.
Oh, the Red Letter Media ones?
Not the Red Letter Media ones.
Those are hilarious.
They are. It was Mr. Sunday Movies talking about the prequels.
The protagonist.
Most stories have something called a protagonist.
Protagonist.
But, I was watching
my son ended his life in the gas station bathroom, the terrifying reality of the Star Wars prequel trilogy is, they will never go away. They cannot be undone. But,
what they were saying is they were talking about the lightsaber fights and how, they're in the prequels, some of them are, over choreographed, and how the closest they got was with Revenge of the Sith, because it has this really great lightsaber fight at the end. And I was like, you know what I want to watch? That right now. And I went online, I found it. The clip is 13 minutes long, because it starts with the scene that happens before the fight. And I watched the scene, and it's when Padme touches down, she gets off the ship, and she's like, Anakin. Yeah. Exactly. And then she... I was gonna look. Yeah. So that actually, I want to address that in a second. But so she touches down and she's like, "Hey, Anakin," and the scene that occurs after that is surprisingly good. The writing is solid. The acting, I'm so convinced that Hayden Christensen is not actually as bad an actor as we all say he is, because he got reamed after the prequels came out. Like, he was totaled. I actually feel bad. I'm positive it was the direction, and I'm positive it was the dialogue, because there are only so many ways you can say a terrible, shitty line that, I mean, and you'll never make it sound good, but there are, only so many options.
When you're away from me, Padme.
Yeah,
it hurts when you're not...
the words...
They're animals! And I slaughtered them like animals!
The words themselves are bad and weird and creepy, so of course his performance comes off as like a stalkery teenager.
The fucking CG force hair. That just made no physically, not physically, like by the laws of physics. Yeah. It did make sense. She just plucks it out of the air with her little dainty fork.
Without anything, without it.
Beautiful.
There's no
force. No. Actually, that's not how physics works.
No.
If she poked the damn thing with her fork, it would fly from the other direction.
I know.
Now, if he had created some momentum, and
they met
threw
in the
it a little bit at the fork, and then it's stuck on the fork, sure, that makes sense. But it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
You can assume that he was pushing from behind when she grabbed a little dainty, stupid Naboo fork. But it didn't look like it, and that's what mattered.
And so the scene is happening, and you're like, Hayden Christensen is giving a fantastic performance, and I figured out why. In Return of the Jedi, so just in the original trilogy, you know vaguely what the Force is. You realize it's not just telekinesis. It's a set of ideologies. It's like a religion. You know that, but you're very unclear on what makes the dark side different. You know what I mean? It's just they're the bad guys. Well, what do they believe specifically that makes them the dark side and makes you not the dark side? And I realize you realize this in Return of the Jedi. It's the rage. It's when he talks about giving into that, because that's the dark side in all of us. It's if we give into that, we do wrong.
When Luke just goes to
town
on Vader's lightsaber.
And if you look at Hayden Christensen's eyes in this scene, you can see the reason that this transformation works here is because he gave into that. You can see him getting mad, and he's nothing to be mad about yet.
Exactly.
You could just see this rage behind his eyes, and then when Obi-Wan is the shot of him standing up there, I was like, oh shit. And it's scary, because you don't know what Anakin's gonna do. You know that he's evil now and whatnot. And another thing... I
love the when he's just you turned her against me, and everyone's just you've done that yourself. I'm just oh shit, my boy. My boy Obi.
But another thing, which is, I dare say that this is a brilliant idea, is if you think of these two things, these two worlds, Force, dark side, as being religions, different, ideas and beliefs. If you think of it that way, we've seen time and time again in history, coaxing people into joining your school of thought by saying something like, "Oh, you will save yourself. You will save someone you love." You know what I mean? Like, you will save them from eternal damnation, from death. You will never die. Join this part of the, whatever. And so with Anakin, it is very much, he has these visions of Padme dying, and he's like, okay, I have to stop that. I have to make that not happen. And so, of course, that makes it so easy for the Emperor to be like, yeah, right here. And then when you realize that what Anakin saw was him killing Padme, that's really good.
Exactly.
That's really good. But I'm so convinced that George Lucas didn't come up with that idea.
No.
I'm so positive, because it doesn't fit with any of the other shit he came up with. All of the other stuff is so bad, but when you add that dynamic, that scene works. And then Padme's just like, Anakin, you're breaking my heart. And I was like, fuck, it's gonna get bad again. And it immediately, snap, on the turn of a dime, it's bad again. The dialogue drops. Hayden Christensen's like, you turned that against me. You have done that yourself. He's like, I am more powerful than any Jedi before me. I believe that the Jedi are evil. Then you are lost.
Then you are lost. Anakin, I have the high ground. You underestimate my power.
You underestimate my power.